Hello everyone, Dr. Devika Rai here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel Dental Planet. Topic for today is first week of development of embryo. That is how the embryo grows in the first week of development. So first, let's learn in brief about the events that occur in the first week of development. So, first, mainly the fertilization of the ovum and sperm occurs. After the fertilization of the sperm and ovum, zygote will form. So, after the fertilization, on the next day, that is day 1, the zygote will divide into two cells, that is two-celled stage. And then in day 2, it will divide into four-celled stage and then 8-celled stage, and then formation of morula, that is 16-celled stage, and then formation of blastocyst, and on the day 6 the beginning of implantation occurs. So these are all the events that occur in the first week of development. So I have divided this topic into two parts. In the first part, I'll be explaining about the fertilization of the ovum and sperm, and in the second part, I'll be explaining about the cleavage and the implantation. So now the first stage, that is fertilization. So now what do you mean by fertilization? Fertilization is nothing but it is the process of fusion of two mature germ cells, that is an ovum and the spermatozoon. These are haploid cells to form a single cell zygote, that is diploid cell. So the ovum and the sperm will fuse to each other to form a diploid cell, that is zygote. So there are three stages of fertilization. The first stage, that is approximation of gametes. Here the sperm and the ovum will approximate each other, and in the second stage the contact of the sperm and ovum takes place, and then third stage the effect of fertilization. After the contact and fusion of gametes, what are the effects of fertilization? I'll be explaining about that in the third stage. So now the first stage is approximation of gametes. As we all already know, the actual site of fertilization is ampulla of fallopian tube. So to reach there, both sperm and ovum has to travel. So first, that is transport of ovum. Ovum, that is released in the ovarian cortex, it has to travel to the ampulla of the fallopian tube. It is traveled due to ciliary beads of the musculature of uterine tube. Okay, due to ciliary beads and rhythmic contraction of the uterine tube, this ovum will reach to the ampulla of the fallopian tube. The duration it takes is 25 minutes. And the lifespan of ovum. Ovum is viable for 24 to 48 hours after ovulation. So now the transport of sperm. Sperm is transported through the external genitalia and it enters to the uterine cavity and then ampulla of the fallopian tube. But sperm transport is affected by the following factors like prostaglandins, oxytocin, and the chemotaxis. Prostaglandins. These prostaglandins of semen it stimulate peristaltic contractions in the female genital tract. These peristaltic contraction helps in the easy transport of sperm to the fallopian tube. And then oxytocin. Sexual intercourse stimulates secretion of oxytocin and it produces the uterine contraction. It also helps in the easy transport of the sperm to the fallopian tube. And then chemotaxis. Sperm is attracted towards ovum by chemicals secreted by the ovum. So that's how both the sperm and ovum reach the site of fertilization. It is a picture of phase of approximation of gametes. Here you can see how the sperms are attracted or approximated towards the ovum. So after the approximation of gametes, contact and fusion of gamete occurs. To sperm to contact with this ovum, it has to cross the three barriers. Okay. So first barrier, that is corona radiate barrier. Here the outer covering cell, it is known as corona radiate membrane. And then the purple color barrier, that is zona pellucida barrier. And then outer covering of the ovum, that is betalain membrane. It has to cross three barriers. So it will cross three barriers with the help of acrosomal enzyme. Here you can see the blue color cap covering the nucleus. It is known as acrosomal cap. It contains two enzymes, hyaluronidase enzyme and acrosine enzyme. This enzyme helps in the penetration of the penetration of the sperm into the ovum. After the penetration of the sperm nucleus into the ovum, it is fused with the nucleus of the ovum to form the zygote. So that's how the contact of the sperm nucleus and the ovum nucleus occurs. So now after the fertilization, that is contact and fusion of gametes, the third stage, that is effects of fertilization. What all happens after the fertilization? So first, that is completion of second meiotic division of secondary oocyte. As we all already know, secondary oocyte, it completes second meiotic division after the fertilization. We learned that in stages of oogenesis. And second, that is restoration of diploid number of chromosomes. We know that sperm has haploid number of chromosome and ovum has haploid number of chromosome. It fuses to form diploid number of chromosome. Third, that is determination of chromosomal sex. How it is like, if the sperm has X chromosome and the ovum has X chromosome, it fuses to form XX, that is female. If the sperm, it had a Y chromosome and the ovum has X chromosome, it fuses to form a XY, that is male. That's how the sex is determined. And then fourth stage, that is initiation of cleavage. After the fertilization process, the next stage, that is cleavage, occurs. Cleavage starts. So that's all about the fertilization stage, how the fertilization occurs, how the approximation occurs, and the contact and fusion of gametes occurs, and the effects of fertilization. So that's all about the first part of first week of development. In second part of first week of development, I'll explain about the cleavage and the implantation of the zygote into the uterus. Okay. I hope you all understood this video. If you all liked the video, click on the thumbs up button, share, comment, and subscribe my channel. Thank you.